Hello, my threeple, and welcome back to the Triple A-Pex Podcast. This is the 10th episode, and I'm your host, of course, 3LNEX, and then we have the co-host here, the Castle Keeper, also known as Javi or Organic. And yeah, once again, this is the 10th episode of the podcast, so we have a few big topics we're going to be going over. One is the removal of Tap Strafe in Apex Legends, which has been a big topic for a little bit now. Also, there is another little news thing that I actually just remembered, which is making it so like it's easier to switch between red Evo shields and gold Evo shields, but I don't think we're going to spend too much time on that because it's pretty self-explanatory and whatever. And there's Warzone has also finally implemented some sort of anti-cheat, and we'll kind of go over our thoughts on that. And there's also going to be a mental health segment that we have since it's Suicide Awareness Month, and just want to talk about our mental health and such. And then we'll, of course, talk about any other topics if we can. So, without further ado, let's get into the topics, starting off with the removal of Tap Strafing. So, Keeper, do you want to get us into that topic?
Respawn released a tweet saying that they're removing Tap Strafing, and it was pretty big news because it's been there for probably like a month, I think, and it's been pretty big. And I honestly think that it shouldn't be removed at all. Even though I'm a controller player and I can't use it, I don't think it should be removed at all. I think it's just another movement mechanic that's in the game that's really fun to use, and all the reasons that they listed isn't really it's not very valid. Like that's kind of the point of a movement tech. It's supposed to make you more like unpredictable,
Yeah,
and
pretty
it
much.
just makes it less fun, honestly.
Yeah, not to mention that Apex Legends has always had like movement as like its core mechanics. Like it is a really fun aspect and something that heightens the skill ceiling. And that's another thing like about Apex's movement that a lot of people like. And basically, what a lot of people like about the game in general is that the high skill ceiling. And tap strafing is a really fun movement technique. Like again, and like I've been practicing it a lot, and I said this in one of my recent videos where I made a concept for a tap strafe tactical ability. I'll leave a card up on the screen if you want to go check that out. And yeah, like I'm a little disappointed, and I don't really think it was too necessarily like, especially again, like not many people are really gonna be using this, and who knows if like a whole lot of people will be using it really effectively. And it like you said again, it's really fun and whatever. I don't see the complete point in removing it. Like I think it was one of the devs did post a justification like about removing it, but I still feel like though it's just a movement technique that should be there for fun purposes and for the high skilled players and whatever. And I actually think tap strafing has been around for probably a little more than a month. Come to think of it, I just think it wasn't really discovered until too recently or a couple months ago or whatever. And the same is kind of like with super gliding and such.
I just like I can understand how frustrating that is to learn something and get good at something just for it to be taken away. Like that's so annoying. That's like me. I've spent hours learning how to super glide consistently, and if they remove that, I'll just be like, dude, like that's like one of the main movement techs that I love using. And if they take that away, I'll just be bored, like bored out of my mind.
Yeah, people are
Yeah,
kind of thinking that super gliding might be the next target to get removed from the game, which I hope doesn't happen either because super gliding is also another thing I've really been trying to get consistent at and good at as well. And it's going to be a little frustrating to be honest to see it go if it does go. And the same with like wall bouncing, like if that goes away too, like that's going to put down the skill ceiling more and it's going to be yeah, it's just going to make the movement mechanics like kind of toned down a lot and like one of the core gameplay mechanics of Apex will start to fade, pretty much.
it's just another, it's just another thing like how they removed bunny hop, like bee hopping while healing, and how they removed zipline jumping.
Oh
Bee hopping
yeah,
while healing, I honestly think that should have been removed, but zipline jumping, I don't think that should have been removed.
yeah.
And
Zipline
now this,
jumping was fun.
yeah, this shouldn't have been removed either. This is like it's just another movement tech. Like That's like removing wall bouncing. That's like removing slide jumping. Like, what the heck?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if they'll necessarily ever get rid of slide jumping because like sliding's been a part of Apex like since the beginning. So I don't completely. Well, they could like slow down its trajectory and such, which would basically remove it. But I don't know if I completely see them doing that. But yeah, I'm scared for like some of the movement portions of Apex Legends, like what's gonna happen like further down the road if things get too out of hand, like with tap strafing and it getting removed in the next patch.
Yeah, it's just really dumb. Like, removing movement from a movement like based FPS game. Like, why are you doing that? Like, why are you taking the way? Like, you're taking the thing that makes your game unique. You're taking that one thing away.
Yeah,
It just makes the
exactly.
gameplay fail. And it's. I mean, Apex has been one of those games that you can find like secret stuff. Like, nobody knew uh, tap strafing even existed until like a little bit ago,
Well,
and
I think tap
that just
strafing
shows
might
how
have
much
been a
is
thing
really.
in Titanfall, but I don't exactly remember.
I've never seen that in Titanfall ever.
I thought there was a tap strafe mechanic in Titanfall as well.
I'm pretty sure it is because it probably uses the same movement system
Yeah, there definitely is
and physics. So
because yeah, Apex and Titanfall are like in the same game engine, so they're gonna have like similar mechanics, if not identical. Well, not identical because you don't have wall running and double jumping, but it is very similar in terms of like how mechanics and movement work.
uh,
And
that's it's just like I just think it's kind of dumb. And then people are also talking about like since they're taking away this, they're probably gonna take away or not take away but nerf aim assist,
yeah, I've heard about that as well,
which is
and I think
super.
they were like, I think the devs were actually like thinking about that or discussing that, in which like
It's I feel like if they nerf or take away aim assist, that's so controversial. If they take that away, I'm just not playing anymore because that's like such a heavy crutch that controller players have, and if they take that away, like there's so much pro players who controller who are just going to be dropping the game if that happens.
yeah, like controller players do need aim assist. Like it depends
Yeah,
on how much they nerf it, but either way, like I don't really think there needs anything to be done with aim assist. I don't really think there really needs anything to be done with anything on either uses on keyboard and mouse or even controller. Just leave them untouched, like or whatever. Also, kind of adding on to the topics with like getting rid of tap strafing. They're also like talking about like banning like certain keybinds or whatever in competitive, like getting rid of or making it so like what's it called, like a macro or something where you could like
yeah,
yeah
macros.
yeah they were planning on banning those in multiple inputs from I'm pretty sure, which I don't know how to feel about that either. Like I mean I have two jump inputs and two interact inputs.
I'm trying to search for a tweet that C9 PvP added. Oh, it was a really good one. He was talking about like things that they should have done.
Oh cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Keeper pulls that up. Fast Shot and A Gaming. How do you feel about tap strafing, or do you think it should have been removed, or whatever? Okay, A Gaming said a lot of people were chill with tap strafing, even him, and he's a controller player. And he doesn't think the devs should remove things people are chill with. Yeah, I agree. It's like removing building in Fortnite. I mean, yeah, pretty good comparison in my opinion. Fast Shot says he honestly doesn't care if it's removed or if it stays, and he never knew it existed. Yeah,
What?
I think probably these like I don't know exactly how much of the player base or knew about tap shifting or not, but another reason why they're pretty much like getting rid of it is because they want to, of course, cater more towards the casual scene who make up the
That's
majority of the
stupid.
player
I mean,
base.
even casuals use like tap strafing. They use movement mechanics too.
Yeah,
Like
I'm a casual player. I've been practicing tap strafing
Respawn has
and
been.
love wall bouncing.
This is the same thing that Fortnite did, where they start catering to like new players, and like just bots. You know what I'm talking about? They just
Yeah.
make things easier, which is so dumb. And look, this is here, the tweet is right there. It's in live chat.
All right. Let's take
Where
a
they should have like added
let's
things
let's
instead
take
of
a
just
look
taking
at
it.
C9PVPX's tweet. So controller add tap strafing, add moving while looting, add binding options to reload, interact, tweak aim assist, and mouse and keyboard, remove scroll wheel strafing. To be honest, I kind of agree with remove scroll wheel strafing. Not because like I think that's primarily if you want to make it less powerful or I don't know, like more readable per se, like yeah, I do agree with that portion. And but to be honest, like when I tried using like scroll wheel tap strafing before, I feel like it barely did anything personally, unless if my mouse just like has a bad wheel. But I don't know. I haven't had problems with my mouse, so or whatever. And let's recap on the other controller parts again. I do yes, like I do agree that controller needs a lot more movement options and such, especially with the moving while looting portion. Like there's got to be like some sort of way to implement that better for controller players. And same thing for
I
like
mean,
chap strafing.
when you're in the loot box, you can still do things like, you know, if you're already moving and then you enter the death box, you're still moving, you're still sprinting, and you can also jump if you have jump bound to another button,
Yeah.
because X or whatever button is used, that you usually use to pick up or select something, it's gonna stay the same. So if you change your jump button to like uh R2 or R3, or I meant L3 or R3, which is the analog stick buttons, you can use that to jump, which is what I do. And I guess that's the only type of crutch thing that I usually do. You just loot faster, or just try and loot, like learn how to loot faster, so
Yeah.
that so that when you're like in the heat of the moment, you don't have to worry about like standing completely still. That's something that I think people should really work on.
Yeah, I also remember seeing a video from Floating Koala where he showed like a way to move while loot, but it can only be like used for like quick grabs or armor swaps. Like you moved one of the joysticks from like left to right, you was able to strafe while looting, but you can move the cursor, so that would only work for like quick grabs for like an armor swap or whatever, like I just said. So like they need to make it so that's more of like full on movement, which I don't know how complex it's gonna be, but I hope they do find some sort of
That
way to
seems
make that.
super hard to do. Like I don't really know how they would be able to do that, because if you're using a regular controller, and if they made it to where it was your right analog stick, how are you supposed to do that? Like, how are you supposed to use the buttons on the right side if you have a regular controller? Like, I get it if you have like a Scuff or an Elite controller, which is what I have, and I know other people have. They it makes it a lot more easier because you know you have those two paddles or four paddles even, and
Yeah.
but when you're using a DualShock controller or regular Xbox controller, you can't do that at all, which is frustrating, I would say. Um, so you can't really do anything about that. Like I just seem like if they were to add moving while looting for a controller, that would just seem so complex and hard to do. And there's probably no way to do it at all, if I'm being honest. If I'm being completely honest, like my full on opinion, I don't care if they add moving while looting to controller. Like I honestly don't care. I don't care if they don't add it. I don't care if they do add it. The thing that I really want them to add is binding options for reload, interact, and I want them to tweak aim assist so you don't auto lock on some down player, because why would you need to do that when you're in a fight? And also when it does like that heavy aim assist where you're when you redeploy or when you get dropped from the dropship. I think that's super annoying. And them binding the binding like two different buttons when you're behind an enemy, like a knocked enemy or behind a door, you don't have to worry about opening the door like when you need to reload or something. because you only get that one button. So yeah, that's probably what I have to say about it. Just because I'm a controller player and I understand that stuff.
Yeah, I do think it would definitely be very complex to try to make that work. And I can totally see like that being really hard and possibly almost unable to put that into the game. But there are ways to figure things out. So even if it's just like a little bit more movement that controller players can get while moving while looting, like they could try that. But we'll really just have to see like what the devs are able to do down the road for whatever and such. And yeah, I think that's going to be all for this segment. We talked about Tap Strafing getting removed in the future patch, which is the next patch, the collection event patch. And the collection event, I think, is coming around like I forgot what day in September it was. I'll have to do some math real quick. I don't have the time to do math any as of now, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be coming in about a week from now, if I can remember. I might be wrong, but yeah. Also, this is just a little bit. This is again a little topic I mentioned about like the gold not Evo shield, the gold shield and the red Evo shield will have like a faster swap time. I personally feel like that was needed because it makes armor swapping those two a lot quicker. But what are your little thoughts about that?
I think they. Okay, so I saw this one thing where it was talking about like disregarding that like switching from red evil to gold shield. Uh, I'm not talking about gold shield, but I think being able to armor swap to a full red shield is kind of overpowered. I don't really have a problem with it, but I think like I don't think they should add it, but I mean it is an option that I think maybe could happen. Is if they added that type of like hold thing to swapping to a full red Evo shield
Mm,
because you're swapping to something that has like how much is it, like 125 health? Like you're switching
I
to something
think
that has
so.
so much health, and I personally don't mind it because it's I do it too. Like I armor swap, and not only that, but it's easy to burn someone's health if you have the right guns. And um and yeah, the other thing was that I think they should remove that hold, like hold E or hold interact to swap to a full like gold from an Evo, or just vice versa or whatever. I think that should be removed and it should just be normal because that it just seems so unnecessary.
Yeah,
As much as I don't use gold shields that much, but even if I needed to swap to it just for a clutch moment, and I have to hold it down for like a whole half of a second, like while I'm in the middle of that, like half a second of me standing completely still after I jump into a loot box, that's that's enough time for me to get killed. Like that's enough time for the game to just be completely over, and there's no point in clutching. You already lost. So I think that's like so much time like wasted right there. So I think that should just be removed, and just be a normal click. You know what I'm talking about, like a regular just click button
yeah,
press to
I agree
swap.
with that too. Because it is for sure a little bit annoying, and it'll be a nice quality of life change for the game, honestly. And also,
Yeah, it was kind of unnecessary to begin with.
pretty much, yeah. Also, does A Gaming and Fast Shot have any thoughts about that? Doesn't seem like it. Okay. I think we're going to be moving on to the next topic now, which is Warzone finally implementing some sort of anti cheat. And personally, I don't know if it's enough to save like the Warzone from kind of going under, because like this is very late in its game in its cycle to implement this. Like this probably should have been done at like the beginning of like when it released and such. So, what are your thoughts about that?
The audio.
No, like Warzone implementing an anti cheat. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, I just got sidetracked. I think that's really good, even though it'll take more attention off of Apex. Like the streamers might go back to it. I honestly don't care. I think that's amazing. Even though most of the time, like I don't encounter hackers if I do play Warzone or anything like that. But I think that's good to see a game fixing their shit.
Yeah, it
Because
is.
yeah.
It is really nice to see that they finally got this in. It is. It will probably bring in the players back to Warzone for sure. But the question is it going to save it from the downfall that was already happening? I think.
Probably not. Probably not. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, because it was way too late. Honestly, it'll probably still have like a solid fan base. Obviously, like it's a big game, so it's gonna have a big player base. Usually, most of the time, so they don't have to worry about that. But this definitely should have been done a lot sooner, personally. And Fast Shot, I know, is like a COD enthusiast, so I want him to give his thoughts about that in the live chat, if he can. So let's see if he's typing anything. It's unfortunate, however.
PP.
It was difficult for them to implement it earlier. Ooh. Due to the engine. Interesting. What the heck? Oh, nice, we got Bat joining us. Hello, Bat. It is you.
Oh my god, it's Bat. It's hot,
oh my gosh,
sexy
it's
Bat.
Bat. Okay, was Fast Shot saying anything else about the anti-cheat? Yay, he's actually only seen one hacker, which is pretty surprising. I heard like that there were like that like pretty much people would encounter hackers like in a lot of the games they played. So lucky you for not encountering any hackers, I guess. But I've never played Warzone, so I don't really have a right to say anything about that. But yeah. So the Warzone's finally gotten an anti-cheat, which is good news for them. I don't know if it's going to save them from the downfall that was happening since Season 10 of Apex, but it is a step in the right direction. And it was good that they're finally able to start focusing on the game a little more. Now, Jesus Cristo, what was that? Okay. Well, anyways, is there anything else that we could talk about before we head into the mental health section of this video, of this podcast?
Okay, hold on, I gotta think about some filler podcast stuff topics. We could talk about I don't know. Tell them to like and subscribe real quick. I need to think.
All right. While Keeper is going to think of some miscellaneous topics for the podcast real quick, be sure to like this video if you do end up liking it, and subscribe to the channel. And click that bell icon so you can get notified for whenever I upload a new video and whenever I upload a new episode of the podcast. And be sure to join the Discord server where the podcast will be live from. So yeah, want to listen to the podcast live at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, then join the Discord server and stay tuned.
Join with us.
Yes, join the podcast. Join with us. All right. Have you thought of the topics yet, or should I try to do some more filler stuff?
I kind of know something we can talk about. We can talk about maybe like future plans. You remember like we did that tournament thingy.
Yes,
and
the tournament.
I'm looking forward to them adding like that private match stuff. I want to know what your ideas on like what do you think they're gonna do with like them adding private lobbies?
Private lobbies, I really think, are going to help tournaments and help. It's gonna pretty much help a lot of different events and such. Like, and if there's like any sort of community events that anyone wants to have, like it's really gonna help benefit that stuff. And for sure, like whenever they do add in private matches or whatever, I will be organizing a new 1v1 tournament, hopefully, and yeah, it will be interesting. But if like they're able to, or if there is like some sort of private match feature that works this way, I would love to see it. That if they like add 1v1 a 1v1 mode in Apex Legends, like if we're able to like do that for like um the tournament instead, and we can all like spectate while the stuff goes down. Like if I'm guessing they do end up doing that in the future. Well, actually, like it could just be like for they could just still have it could just be the typical arenas mode, except we only throw two people into the queue, one person on one team, one person on the other. So I don't know if they need to exactly like implement a 1v1 mode in order for us to like do that. So yeah, for sure, when the time comes around for a private match, for private matches when they're added and such, 1v1 tournament will be on its way, and it will for sure be bigger than the last one, hopefully. And if I have built up a larger community by then, a whole lot more people will be in it. And I'm planning on 16 people, and well, it'll be a total of 32 people in the tournament, 16 people in both in two branches, and there'll be a round one, round two, round three bracket, and semifinal and final two. And hopefully I can get some sort of prize, like instead of like any mediocre Discord based prizes like a custom channel or a custom role. So I'm really hoping that I can find a good prize. Maybe like a gift card or something that like I can just get from a store or whatever and share the details, which is probably the most easiest thing to do, like for giving away a prize and such. So yeah. And also on the topic of events planned for the future, I am planning on trying to bring in a Geometry Dash creator contest at some point, because I really want to like cater more to the Geometry Dash players, not just in my server, but I want to cater more to Geometry Dash players in general, so I can try to have a blend of some sort of community. And this is something I've been trying to do pretty much like ever since I came back to like YouTube and such. Excuse yourself. And like yeah, I want to have a blended community, and I just want to cater to Geometry Dash as well, because the game is one of my favorites, and I don't think I'm ever ready to let that game go. So like definitely a Geometry Dash creator contest is going to be coming further down the road once I gain more attention from any Geometry Dash players. And an interesting thing I would plan on doing with that contest is making it similar to how the 1v1 contest would operate. So it'd be like pit two creators against each other in a bracket, and they have to speed build a level or something. So and whoever makes like the best work would move on to like the next round and such. And yeah, it would be really cool, really interesting. Love to see how that would work. And yeah, other content events I'm planning on having, those are pretty much the only two major events that I have planned out for like the future. And whenever I do hit like 1,000 subscribers, if that's ever gonna happen, like I'm gonna have like a celebratory Triple A-Pex Podcast episode for it, and we'll do some fun stuff with the community, like maybe have people do some karaoke and stuff. Maybe we'll play Among Us, even though that game is like kind of dead as of now, and maybe we'll just do skits. Skits sound fun in my opinion. Maybe we could try doing that. Write bedtime stories like what we did in episode 8 of the podcast, and that'll be a fun episode whenever the time comes around. And the other big thing I have planned is a legend concept video, taking concepts from the community. So people send in legend concepts to me, and I will combine them all into one video, which would be a pretty cool video. I don't know if I'm going to do that if I hit 1,000 subscribers, or if I do that before I do it, but it's going to be like way further down the road, and it will be a fun video to make. And that's pretty much the planned events for the future and whatever. I think that's all I have so far.
Poggers.
Yeah, poggers indeed. And shortly we're going to be getting into the mental health segment. But first, I just remembered this as well. There is going to probably be another Seer nerf coming down the road, involving possibly his interrupt and the revealing of enemies for a certain amount of time. and I don't know when that's going to be, but it could be in the next patch. And that would be like a follow-up nerf, I'm guessing. But I don't really think Seer needs any more nerfs or whatever, because I think he's balanced. What do you think about that, Keeper?
I I didn't even know he was gonna get nerfed again. I thought he was doing fine, if I'm being honest. Do you know what they're gonna nerf though?
It's either going to be something with the interrupt or the duration for how long you scan for. I heard about it like this morning, but I don't know like if that's going to go through or not. And if it does go through, it's going to be in the next patch probably.
I don't know if I'm being honest. I didn't even know they were gonna do it. I don't think they should, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
I
I
don't want
agree.
them to like remember that one idea I was talking about a long time ago about like that crypto and bloodhound idea.
I think so. Oh,
Or
the
it
one
was
involving the ravens and the
yeah,
EMP
yeah,
revealing enemy health bars.
yeah. That's what I want to kind of happen. Like because I realized that the EMP only really does is stun and take like half your shields. So, and it's hard to play off that unless you have a coordinated team, like if you're three stacking or something. And so, like, I had an idea, like, it would be a lot more easier, especially when you're playing with randoms or solo queuing ranked, is if you have something like that makes his EMP more powerful, like that gives more information to you, like because the drone can't go everywhere at once. So if you're in that spot and you're really trying to push and fight and you're trying to give your teammates like information, here's where everyone is, here this is who you're supposed to push. I think you should reveal them and show their health bars for 5 seconds. I honestly think they should do that.
That would be really interesting to add into the game, honestly. And then people would have Seer war flashbacks. But it's
Yeah.
But like it's an ultimate ability, so it would make sense
Yeah.
if it were to have like that sort of effect.
Yeah, it's not like Seer's tactical. It's it's his ultimate. Like that takes a while to charge up. It doesn't come every like 25 seconds or 20 seconds or however much Seer's cooldown is
Yeah,
for a tactical. So I think that one makes more sense. It would make his crypto EMP is drawn more versatile.
yeah. Why
And
so?
there's other things about crypto that I think should change. But I feel like that EMP was just it was just an idea that I had, so I wanted to share it.
Yeah, it sounds really interesting and probably a really good idea. And yeah, and now I think we're gonna be getting into this little mental health segment for in honor of Suicide Awareness Month. So pretty much we're just gonna kind of debrief like where we're at with our mental state right now. So, Keeper, do you want to start us off with this? Like,
People struggle, okay? Like people struggle. Sometimes people need to talk to people. They need like a connection. Some people really want one, but they don't know how to start one. Like I feel like I'm one of those people. I really want a connection with someone, and I'm so lucky and I'm so happy that I have one with someone that I love and I have to myself. But there are people who don't have that, and there are people who struggle to find that and who don't know how to engage people. And I was one of those people, like one of those person who like that person who just doesn't know how to talk to people, doesn't know how to conversate, and doesn't know how to carry a conversation. And if I'm being honest, I'm still that type of person. I don't know how to talk to people. I'm nervous. I'm awkward, and yeah, I don't really know what to do with myself sometimes. But people change. People move on. Time goes on, and things honestly do get better even if you are struggling. Um, things
yeah,
do change even if it seems like it's going downhill, things do come back. There is good karma. There is good fortune. Stuff will happen. The universe will come back to repay you someday. But trust me, like things do get better. Like I know it sounds weird that I'm like mumbo jumbo space shit, but like things change.
yeah.
Even if
There's
it seems like it's
always
bad,
hope.
it things do get good.
Yeah. I always say that you should always have like some sort of hope because like, honestly there was a point in like my life and it was actually not too long ago actually like probably a year or two back where I was just like worse than what I am now, but I'm still bad in some in some degree, but like my mental health, like I was not in a good spot. Like I do remember like when I was at some point, like I was actually a little, I did have suicidal thoughts like before, and it was primarily because like I have anger issues and I really did not feel like dealing with that. And there were like a couple times where I actually suggested I should kill myself over that, and like I didn't like that, and I grew out of that mentality pretty much because like I just got to deal with it and try to work myself into getting into a better spot. And I do believe that I will get better. Like obviously, like I'm still working towards like getting into a better state and whatever. But like there is always hope, and like Keeper said, things do get better even if it doesn't seem like it. Like there's gonna be a struggle like in a whole lot of different scenarios. Like for example, like take YouTube as an example. Like I've been struggling trying to like get to the spot where I want to be on YouTube, and I've been struggling to like bring up my mental health, and Keeper just said he was struggling with his mental health too, and it's going on for a lot of people, and we're all making it through. And if you're listening to this video right now, you will make it through. If you're having bad times, like I said, you just gotta have hope. You gotta believe. You gotta know that things will come around again, in Keeper's words. And yeah, because I've been there before, and I don't want anyone else to be in that spot ever again, where they ever consider the thought of suicide. So this month like is really kind of hit hard for me personally. And is that all that we really have to say about this, or do we have anything else to hear from the other three people in the audience?
I have a little bit more that I could probably talk about on this topic, especially like people, especially like people who are in that place. They say they don't have anyone, or they say that like they say they can't find anyone, or they say like things don't seem that way. Why are you being so naive? Like things don't get better, but like you just have to have hope and faith that
Yeah.
things will happen, and you have to push yourself to make that happen. And it seems that no one's there. Like if your mom died, or you broke up with someone, or something bad happens, I don't think you should really. I don't want to sound like that guy. Just don't commit suicide if you're suicidal. No, because it's more deeper than that. And just you just have to hold on. If I'm being completely honest, it just takes time.
It does take time. It takes a lot of patience, and get help if like you need it. Like don't try to sit there and think about all this terrible stuff. Like if you're considering like committing suicide or whatever, like you will for sure need some sort of help and therapy. And like I will be leaving the suicide hotline number down in the description of this video, like in case if you're having any of those bad thoughts. I'll leave that down in the description for anyone who needs it. And yeah, just thought I'd mention that as well, and whatever. And is there anything else we want to say before? I'm gonna check the live chat real quick to see if anyone's said anything. Okay, no one's really said much, so I think we've covered a decent amount of this, so yeah. So once again, this was our mental health segment, just in honor of Suicide Awareness Month. Again, I'll be leaving the suicide hotline number in the description of this video in case if anybody needs it. Like, once again, there is hope for you. There's hope in every single circumstance, even if there's only a sliver of it. And you just gotta hold on, believe, and you will make it to a better place one day. And you will also always find someone, even if it does not seem like that either. Because life can be unpredictable, and things will come our way and go our way. So yeah, and that's it. So is there anything else we wanted to talk about before we enter a possible Q&A?
I think uh chat's gonna try and steal the podcast. I'm scared.
Oh, don't worry. I'm not gonna be accepting any requests to enter the stage until like we have like some sort of event where we can allow people to come up here. So, yeah. Anyways.
What?
Okay. Anyways, does anybody in the audience have any questions for a quick Q&A before we end things off? What is he doing up here?
Yugi number.
What?
What's your social security number?
Oh, no, get him out. I'm scared. Help me, 3.
Oh wait, I think I accidentally... Did I accidentally kick him? I thought I accidentally kicked him!
I'm scared. Help me. Okay.
I think I accidentally... Oh wait, no, he's still here. I thought I accidentally kicked him from the server for a second.
Alright.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
'cause I saw someone left.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't
Oh
know.
my god.
Oh, that was scary. But anyways, I think that's going to be all for this podcast. We talked about the removal of Tap Strafing in Apex Legends, some armor changes that will be coming, Warzone's anti-cheat finally getting implemented after 1,000 years. We talked about a seer nerf that could possibly be coming, future events. We had a mental health section, and oh wait, I forgot about the Q&A. Oh. We don't have any questions, so yeah.
Wait, no, we have questions.
Wait, how many?
What's your social security number? What?
I don't know, and I don't care. Okay.
Yeah. How much digits is in a security code? Security code?
I forgot.
No. All right, then it's Wait, hold on. Let me remember. I'll put it in live chat.
Okay. While Keeper is doing that, we're rolling the outro. So, to the people that are watching from YouTube, thank you so much for tuning in to the Triple A-Pex Podcast, episode 10. If you did end up liking this, then be sure to give it a like. And if you're brand new here to the channel, be sure to subscribe and turn on that bell icon so you can get notified for whenever I upload a new video. Also, be sure to join the Discord server. The link will be in the description. And if you want to listen to the podcast live, then do be sure to join the Discord server where we go live on 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturdays. So if you're free that time, come join in on the podcast. Also, I have a Discord server. Wait, I already said that. I have a Guilded server too, so if you have Guilded and are looking for any servers on there, then I'll leave a link to that in the description too. Also, be sure to follow my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/3LNEX. And yeah, once again, that's all for episode 10 of the Triple A-Pex Podcast. And I will see you all later. Bye-bye.